Have you been using transitions in your videos but don't feel like it's as smooth as it should be? So today I'm sharing with you 3 transition hacks on how to improve your videos. Just to remind you, this is not a video about transitions, how to make them, but how to apply them seamlessly into your sequences. So let's get right to it. Welcome to my very first tutorial. Just to quickly introduce myself, I am Kyrke. I'm a travel filmmaker and a director. Recently on Instagram stories, I posted a question asking, what kind of video tips do you want me to share to you? And out of all the answers, this came out right on top. So today I'm sharing with you 3 transition hacks on how to improve your videos. Number 1, patterns. It's a simple hack that usually goes unnoticed until you actually really break it down. Using patterns in your videos show your intention of harmony, showing that you put effort into creating your video and not just throwing random clips that don't make sense. And it also enhances the story you're trying to tell. Here are examples of patterns. So here are examples using shapes. Here's another using faces. Color is also considered pattern. It emphasizes certain feelings in your sequences. And lastly, pattern can be in action. Like in this video, shot by shot, it has people with open arms. It's a good practice for you to include patterns in your videos. And it's also a good exercise in helping you transition between scenes or sequences. So how is this a transition hack? It doesn't literally mean fancy transition effect, but transition of the feeling of your viewers. From the earlier example, I used the open arm pattern to transition to the ending of the video, which shows and emphasizes the feeling of fulfillment and calm after an entire day's adventure. You can also use patterns as a smooth way to end your videos. Having patterns in your videos help you relay the story, the feeling you want to convey, but in a subtle way. Number 2, arrangement and pace. I'm a rhythm-based editor, so music is a crucial part of my editing. And through rhythm-based editing, you improve your pace, which could make or break your video. Pace is quite literal in video terms. If you want to improve your videos, you have to work on your pacing. It's kind of like dancing, where if you hit every beat in the same rhythm over and over, it gets very boring. Just like in editing, you have to have breaks. Do not just cut and switch in a constant rhythm, constant beat, because it gets less interesting for everyone as it goes along and it disconnects your audience. So you gotta have breaks in between. Try switching it up. Try going off beat. Try hitting a different instrument that you hear in your music. Not just simply following the waveform you're trying to base it on. Now, in terms of arrangement, there's this social media tactic where you make the first seconds of your video the most interesting part. That is true, but you have to save your best videos in the right places. Remember, the intro is just the appetizer for your main course. So reserve those best shots, your most impactful shots in your main sequence. You have to keep your audience interested along the way. So one tip for that is to arrange your money shots throughout the video. And lastly, after creating a mind-blowing sequence, create a break in between. So mind-blowing sequence, break. It's for your audience to let it all process what just happened. Let it sink in to your viewers. If you create mind-blowing after mind-blowing after mind-blowing, it's too much for your audience. So mastering arrangement and pacing would really help you into applying your transitions seamlessly. And now the third and most important tip, flow and movement. Always keep a continuous motion throughout your video. You want your audience to be drawn into this 3D world you've created. So don't restrict yourself from using still shots and the same camera movements. Using the same movements will make your video draggy. An example of this would be creating sequences that lead to certain directions. Like in this video, notice how the flow went. I didn't restrict myself in a lateral movement. I played with the 3D space, going from downwards, switching to the left, went up, then switched to moving backwards. Creating this space draws your viewers in and letting them feel the space. Also, if you noticed the last part, I used the cliche zoom out transition, but it didn't look awkward because of the movement. Having your clip zoom out or dollying out before you zoom out transition and following it up with another dolly out would make it look seamless. Basically, you have to prepare the eyes of the viewers by creating subtle movements before and after your transitions. Here are more examples. As you can see, the scene starts with the dancer pointing to the left and the flow continues with the dancer who jumps in the left direction. Here, it slowly tilts up and transitions into the sun rising. You also have to remember that movement and flow is not restricted to camera movements, but also what is happening in your clips, in your footages. For example, here, the footage starts with having the camera go to the right, but my camera movement stops, but there's still flow. Because what's happening in the scene is also in the rightward direction. Here are more examples. Here you can see the first clip with someone jumping up, and the second clip continues with steam blowing upwards. And in this example, all three clips flow to the right. What if you don't have footages that are dynamic? You can add digital zooms to your still shots and create a constant movement out of these. So that's it for the 3 transition hacks on how to improve your videos. This is subjective. This is how I do it. I hope you learned a lot. This is my very first tutorial. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and whatever you do on YouTube, hit the bell button, I guess. So thank you and see you on the next one.